cat's rendition of pop songs. Ready, guys? Meow, 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 meow.
It's not what we're doing.
Meow, meow.
Okay. Hi, you guys. We want to thank you guys for coming. I'm Zaria.
I'm Rhiannon.
I'm Melissa.
We're the We're the Pop-Up Girls. We're gonna do a poem for you. We're gonna do multiple poems for you. But right now we're going to do a poem called Coffee.
And now a coffee break.
I'm Mocha.
I'm Caramel.
I'm Milk.
They call us Coffee because I grind so hard.
Because I'll keep you up all night.
Because no one likes me without changing a fundamental aspect of my personality.
It is said that
Kaldi, an Ethiopian goat herder, first discovered coffee when he saw his goats getting really hyper after eating little red berries.
According to another legend, a man named Omar was exiled from Yemen to a desert cave. Starving, he tried chewing berries from a nearby bush,
But they were bitter.
He roasted them,
But they just got harder.
Finally, he boiled them, resulting in a delicious brown liquid
That restored and sustained him for days. The word coffee entered the English language in 1582 via Dutch coffee, borrowed from Turkish kahve, in turn borrowed from Arabic kahwa, meaning wine of the bean. European Christians call it the bitter invention of Satan, but we call it
my lifeline.
my morning kiss.
My grande quad non-fat 1 pump no whip mocha quad means 4 shots of espresso. I like my men like I like my coffee black.
Girl, you know you put cream all up in that beverage.
I do not. Coffee is slightly acidic at 5.0 on the pH scale, but a man's bittersweet love tends to burn more than freshly brewed coffee, scorching your tongue.
Some boys only want us for an all-nighter, then go get a new cup once morning comes,
Tossing us away like styrofoam, not even recycling. What do you call a sad coffee?
Depresso.
No sugar, I'm sweet enough for me.
I like my men like I like my coffee.
Strong, rich.
Chewed up and past the digestive system of a rainforest marsupial. I actually like tea.
But anyway, you take your coffee, hot, cold, frozen, overpriced, raw, black-eyed, flat white, red tufts, chai latte with a bun on the side. Remember, by any means necessary, to add a little love, because the best part of waking up is us.
For a lot of reasons, but mostly because this microphone is actually too short for me. And that never happens.
Yeah.
It's usually above my head. So this is a new poem, which I might, either start sobbing or forget in the middle of it. The great part about going to our high school is that a lot of your teachers don't actually mind if you're working on other stuff during class, which is why I wrote this in paper, in pencil, so that it would look like I was taking notes in Pullman, but I wasn't. It's okay. Still 11A in that class. Okay. Hatima Shali Medabaro Dol Boatan Neturi. Ma mère dit, on est clos ou on planta. My mother says, bloom where you are planted, and the canals of France kept her watered. She colors my eyes as Parisian rain. She tells me of the southern sands and beach umbrellas like scattered candies. From this earth, I inherited a sweet tooth and sharp nails. She feeds me quiche l'oignon, but I grew most on these stories and longing for my grandmother's village, du village, de la mer, du chemin encore. I have never seen my mother's France, of mossy sidewalks and blessed memories, or the town she thinks was ours before the first brick was laid for Auschwitz. She has to show me postcards instead of family pictures. I am always too young to hear of the murders, but Mom swears my bones are strong as rock, and I know every step I take is in mourning. To be Jewish is to be born during a funeral. The flowers don't grow fast enough for our graves, but there will always be more stones to stack in the cemetery, by a school, a bleeding kosher market. Mama, I want to bloom like a summer rose. You must save me from being cut like Toulouse and Marseille and Paris and Paris and Paris, because I know that we too belong here in Friday dinners and perfume, but the catacombs are seething. Mama, tell me again about my grandmother's grandfather, the Grand Rabbi du Paris. Ima, do not think of how he would fall learning that last month his synagogue closed for the first time on Shabbat since the German occupation. Tell me about the stained glass windows in so many more colors than red. The Seine glistens on our carpus. I tell her we are still going home. No ash or bomb could ever keep us. She prays that I feel my grandfather's arms around me again, his hands calloused from the wheel of his barge, but still soft as petals. Quand il me prend dans ses bras, il me parle tout bas, je vois la papillon rose. Still singing on stage. You guys are gonna hurt from these heels, but I walked here in tennis shoes. This is banter. I'm really good at the banter. Okay, Zarya.
Hentai.
Can I help you? Don't you have like some One Direction vampire impreg fan fiction to read?
Not even a shame.
So, knock knock.
Who's there?
Rape joke.
Rape joke? Rape joke who?
Rape joke is not fucking funny.
Don't worry.
We're good victims. We won't cry too loud or demand your attention.
Or ask for trigger warnings.
Men like to use the excuse. Boys get raped too.
When they hear women talking about their personal experiences.
First, boys get raped should be its own sentence. If you're only acknowledging their trauma to silence female survivors, then you're a scumbag. Second, all the male survivors we know would kick your teeth in for saying that. And your friends who aren't survivors can't sympathize with you until they know all the gory details. Please, get your porn somewhere else. And once you do get their sympathy, it sounds like
Someone catcalled me once, so I totally get it.
someone stepped on my foot last week. It was a man. I just felt so invaded.
And to the boys who write poems.
To raped girls, don't worry. There's good men out there, the light at the end of such a dark tunnel.
They hold your hand in court and everything.
Thank God I'll get some thoughtful dick someday.
You know those poets will tell you.
Violets are growing in the shadows under your eyes.
They're not violets,
It's skin. I know it's skin. It's good skin. It's gonna be skin regardless of what metaphors you attach to it.
You'll be there when I cry.
Until my eyes get popping and red. You won't be tearing off my lace panties.
Because they were expensive and they make me feel like I'm worth something.
Once you figure out that the only time I deep throat is with a feeding tube at the psych ward, you'll be gone. And if you do want a healing relationship, how do you talk about it when the language is rooting against you?
Hey, wanna bang?
Screw!
Nail me? Everything is so violent.
How to flirt with a rape survivor. Approach slowly and cautiously. Do not make any sudden movements or loud noises.
Hey baby, I've got anxiety, depression, PTSD, and crushing sexual insecurity.
You want to come back to my place and hold my hair while I vomit?
And then there's feminists who feel entitled to our poetry and narratives because, as they say,
Under the patriarchy, like all women are constantly threatened by rape.
so like, what does that make us?
Hold on, Melissa. I'm turning into a statistic.
Holy pepper spray, Batman!
I can only see in binary. The ones look like penises.
Quick, and you've got to pull it together for
Slut walk.
Truly, nothing helps rape survivors of all gender, ethnicity, and economic level than rich white girls walking around half naked while collaborating with the police.
Because the cops, historically, are so good at supporting victims and catching rapists, getting real tired of slut-walk slogans, too. Don't slut-shame me. How about do not refer to me as a slut, ever. Real men don't rape.
Oh shit, must have been a ghost then.
Consent is sexy, lingerie is sexy. Consent is a basic human right. You guys are supposed to be the adults we look up to, but we went through our moon goddess phase in 7th grade. Humor helps trauma. We just want to know that you're laughing with us. We can joke about it because it's ours to joke about, similar to how our bruises are ours to poke at and yours to keep away from.
So, that was a hard hitter, right? You know? I'm gonna take things down a bit. Okay, so I wrote a poem, and it's really, really new, so I'm gonna read it off my phone. Hope you don't mind.
Yeah!
Maybe I might seem a bit unprofessional, but don't worry. Okay. Poem's titled 3, so hope you like it. My name's Belissa.
Hi, Melissa!
3 years ago today, I listed every aspect of myself that I hated on the left of my notebook and everything I liked on the right. The ratio of hatred to acceptance was a close tie of 34 to 2. There was nothing inside of me worth expanding on. All of my answers were one-worded and bland. Plain because I wasn't that much of a mystery. Simple because I was anything but. And truthful because if I was going to write about the reasons I shouldn't exist, it would always be painfully honest. 3 months ago today, I found the sheet of paper shoved under last year's homework. I read over it about 5 times before I laughed. 10 minutes of laughing and questioning where I was when I wrote this led me to smoothing out the wrinkles, being careful not to smear the writing even though I knew it had been dry for a long time. I left it on my desk, that way I could wake up every morning, fresh-faced, to see myself written down in less than 50 words. I knew it wouldn't pass as a college essay, but when the prompt asks who I am and where I've been, I was afraid those words would be all that's left to say. 3 weeks ago today, I thought about burning the edge of the paper and watching as each of my attempts towards wholeness turned to ash. My fingers stained until I wash off the black parts of my skin that never seem to fade away, scrubbing relentlessly at the burning sensation of failure before my skin screams red, assuring me I ripped apart any inch of flesh that still saw me as useless. 3 days ago, I shred my last piece of self-doubt. Spreading the torn words across my floor, I stood above them, finally looking down with disappointment. Below me, I wouldn't see them written across my mirror asking, "Are you sure?" Below me, I knew they would always catch my tears, but they would never watch them fall. Below me, they remained below me. Today, when the prompt asks me who I am, I'll say healed. And when it asks me where I've been, I'll say, 3 years ago today.
Hi. Oh, shout out to Kai, my peer mediation buddy. He made me say that. This poem is called Questions. If there's one thing I hate most about the college application process, it's all the questions they ask. Like I'm the only person under 60 years old in a computer lab full of senior citizens trying to set up their first email account. I can never think of enough answers to give, let alone put them into the proper paragraph format for each essay prompted 700 words or less question. What is your favorite subject? I say love. I say you. But I leave the part about you out. Question. What makes you feel most at peace? I think art. I think colors, I think laundry. Like the way you can put something in dirty and it comes out new again. I want to come out new again. The way you can separate the colors, the goods from the bads, the darks from the lights. The way the kids on the playground always did the same thing to me. How come pale colors are pure and dark colors are evil? My skin is a black water can't wash off question. If you were to die right now, what would be your biggest regret? Maybe that I spent the last 3 hours of my life scrolling through the admissions pages of colleges that I'm too fucking dead to go to anymore. That I hated church but took forever to appreciate how great the music is. That I didn't apply to college before California phased out affirmative action. That I died before I hit my growth spurt. And that my ancestors died for my right to a higher education that I will never grow tall enough to reach. That I spent the last 3 hours of my life shattering myself into a million pieces just trying to find the most interesting parts of me. That I never asked enough questions. Like, what makes you think going to church will get me into heaven? Because I have read the scriptures, and I've seen the paintings, but I've never seen an angel that looked like me. Question, what is your fondest childhood memory? I think racing against all the second grade boys and winning. I think my first boyfriend. I think the time I sat as all my 7-year-old Christian school classmates watched the crucifixion of Christ on VCR tape, and I told them it was all just a movie and I got sent to the office. I think the time I prayed for forgiveness and told God, I'm really sorry, I didn't mean to offend you, I loved your movie, your acting was amazing. Question, what is your worst childhood memory? I think the time I realized that unlike Michael Jackson, all black people do not turn white with age, and I really was stuck like this. I think how my first boyfriend was white and all his friends would trip me and pull my hair during the races once they found out. I think the time I peed on myself while waiting for my mom to pick me up from the bus stop on the corner when I was in the 3rd grade. A time I watched a man punch his girlfriend in broad daylight on the corner when I was in the 3rd grade. Getting all the way to my 3rd year of high school and realizing that I had never broken a heart. That ever since elementary school, I was always the paper, never the rock, never the scissors. Always careful to make sure that tall men did not feel threatened by my tiny girl frame. His love was like a fire. He could keep me warm, or he could burn me alive, not realizing my power. I am not your baby girl. I will swallow you whole. Question, where do you see yourself in 5 years? The teacher asks our class this question for practice. White girls in the musical theater department say New York, and the boys say the same. Some say in school, DC, top of their class, at Berkeley, a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher. I turn to the boy next to me, his hands folded in on each other till his black boy knuckles turn valley girl white. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? He says, hopefully, alive. Okay, this is called 32 Flavors. No! No! Stop! You're removing, okay, go.
I am not limited edition. I am not flavor of the month.
I am not an annual one-day sale.
So you're not breaking down racial barriers by allowing yourself to realize that I am hot as fuck. I'm not a 4-leaf clover in a sea full of weeds.
I am not a rarity.
If you want exotic, jump on a safari.
Go to the zoo.
Take a trip to the aquarium. Visit Machu Picchu. Boys really like to tell their other boys how they really want to get with an Asian girl.
Go on a date with a Latina.
Get a piece of the Middle East or try it with a black one. Try it. Like we're some new flavor of gum at the corner store that they're just dying to get their lips on.
I am not some rare species.
When you undress me, you're not going to find a stamp that says made in South America, manufactured in Nairobi, assembled in the Philippines, shipped from Turkey. I am not exotic just because I don't have to wear sunscreen. Love me for being unique. Not for making you feel like some hip and liberal system-fighting beast for the way I speak.
Not because my skin is darker than the girls you've dated before.
Because my lips are fuller. Because I have more hips for your hands to hold.
Because my eyes slant upward even when I'm not smiling.
Because I speak a different language with my family at dinners.
I'm happy you like these things about me. I like them too. But I promise there's so much more to me, and there's so much more to you. I am not limited edition.
I am not flavor of the month.
But if you ask me politely, free of racial biases or fetishizing, you can get a sample cup.
Okay, so we have to
So,
do this poem everywhere
this is
we
a
go.
new poem.
Yeah, it's brand new. It's brand new. We've
We
never
actually wrote it
I
on the
wrote
way
it
over.
in the car here.
It's called Somewhere in America.
Never seen it on TV.
We appreciate you guys' support.
If you see it on the if you saw it on the Queen Latifah show, copyright. Copyright.
Yeah, we're covering this poem. It's not covered. It's not ours. Yeah.
I'm gonna be saying this poem like on my deathbed.
On your
It's
deathbed?
you.
Yeah, we just wrote it.
We just wrote it. How did you? Okay.
Anyway. She's not the smart one in the group, obviously.
Here in America, in every single
They have a
state,
set of standards for every subject, a collection of lessons that the teacher is required to teach by the end of the term.
but the greatest lessons you will ever teach us will not come from your syllabus.
The greatest lessons you will ever teach us, you will not even remember. You never told us what we weren't allowed to say. We just learned how to hold our tongues. Now somewhere in America, there's a child holding a copy of Catcher in the Rye, there's a child holding a gun.
But only one of these things have been banned by their state government.
And it's not the one that can rip through flesh.
It's the one that says F you on more pages than one, because we must control what the people say, how they think.
And if they want to become the overseer of their own selves,
Then we'll show them a real one. And somewhere in America, there's a child sitting at his mother's computer, reading the homepage of the KKK's website. And that's open to the public, but that child will have never read To Kill a Mockingbird because his school has banned it for its use of the N-word.
Maya Angelou was prohibited because we're not allowed to talk about rape in school.
We were taught that just because something happens doesn't mean you are to talk about it.
They build us brand new shopping malls
So that we'll forget where we're really standing. On the bones of the Hispanics, on the bones of the slaves, on the bones of the Native Americans, on the bones of those who fought just to speak.
Transcontinental railroad to Japanese internment camps.
There are things missing from our history books, but we were taught that it is better to be silent than to make them uncomfortable.
And
somewhere in America,
private schoolgirls search for hours through boutiques trying to find the prom dress of their dreams.
while kids on the south side spend hours searching through the lost and found, because winter's coming soon and that's the only jacket they have.
Kids are late to class for working the midnight shift.
They give awards for best attendance, but not for keeping your family off the streets. These kids will call your music ghetto. They will tell you you don't talk right.
Then they'll get in the backseat of a car with all their friends,
Sing about how they're about that life and we can't stop. Somewhere in America,
schools are promoting self-confidence,
while they whip out their scales and shout out your body fat percentage in class.
where the heftier girls are hiding away, and the slim-fit beauties can't help but giggle with pride.
The preppy kids go thrift shopping because they think it sounds fun.
But we go because that's all we've got money for. Because Mama works for the city. Mama only gets paid once a month. Somewhere in America,
A girl's getting felt up by a grown man on the subway.
She's still in her school uniform, and that's part of the appeal.
it's hard to run in knee socks and Mary Janes, and all her male teachers know it too. Coaches cover up star players raping freshmen after the dance.
Women are killed for rejecting dates.
But God forbid I bring my girlfriend to
A girl
prom.
is blackout drunk at the after party.
Take a picture before her wounds wake her.
How many pixels is your sanity worth?
What's a 4.0 to a cold jury?
What did you learn in class today?
Don't walk fast.
Don't speak loud.
Keep your hands to yourself.
Keep your head down.
Keep your eyes on your own paper. If you don't know the answer,
Fill in C. Always wear earbuds when you ride the bus alone. If you feel like someone's following you, pretend you're on the phone. A teacher never fails, only you do. Every state in America. The greatest lessons are the ones you don't remember learning.